All right, so this is definitely one on the list that coach hasn't really known how to get to, and he never prepares. We just go with like flow of consciousness type thinking and communication. So, what coach thinks when he thinks of the phrase think outside the box, he immediately thinks of the cube. It seems they want you in a cube. We have Rubik's cubes, right? We got I've heard a lot about, like a cult that of Saturn, and they're into cubes. Coach doesn't fully understand it, but he knows being in a box isn't where we want to be. He doesn't like being in a cage. He doesn't want to be a rat in a cage, right? He thinks that that's the others. He thinks they're the rats in the cage, right? And he associates rats with witchcraft. Because of the movie Witches that very much disturbed him as a child and thought it was trying to tell him something. It was very, very difficult to this day. He does not like the movie Witches because it is terrifying. Okay? And if you're not familiar, that was a movie they show on Disney all the time. I believe it came out in the 90s. But, yes, so we know we don't want to be in a box. We don't want to be in a cage. That's just instinct. Even an animal doesn't want to be in a cage, right? We certainly don't want our mind to be in a cage, because our mind is where we live. Okay, if you're like me, you don't worry about the material world or realm all too often. You try to tap into things to communicate with people in this realm, but you basically live in your own world inside your head. You have to do certain things during certain times, and if you don't do that, they don't give you money, and they say you need money, so you do that. But even while you're there, mostly you're trying to find ways to not do what they want you to do by helping people instead of stealing their money, or simply just thinking about stuff that's more important to you, like sports, or talking to your customers about sports, that sort of stuff. So coach is just always trying to find any way to make the best of the situation, not get too attached to anyone or anything who may be upset with him, unhappy with him. He doesn't like to make people feel that way. But a lot of times, those feelings are either misplaced or they are manufactured to get some sort of intended result, get some sort of reaction out of you. It's not even necessarily something you've done. They just have an angle, right? So, coach pretty much always has his guard up. Now, coach does not think of himself as paranoid. He does not automatically assume everything is a lie. He simply does not assume, and he thinks the thought trap for most is that they assume they are being told the truth, particularly when it comes from anything resembling an authority figure, right? A teacher, a police officer, the news, a sports anchor, right? A quarterback that they respect, right? Anybody they perceive as better than them, which is pretty much everyone, because we're at the bottom, and they constantly show you all of these characters who apparently found a way to conquer the world while having zero life skills, ambition, or talent. Okay? Now, coach is telling you he doesn't care who you are listening. He believes you are probably far more talented, far more skilled, far more powerful than these entities would want you to believe. Why on earth would they spend so much time trying to control you if they were not threatened by you, if they were not easily defeated by you, right? They would simply be right out in the open and make you do whatever the fuck they want you to do, right? Like, they have to kind of be weasels about it and hide in the darkness and do things behind the scenes. That is because they are not truly in control. They have been granted authority by us. We are allowing them to do this in some way. We are complicit. We are fully responsible for it. You cannot blame a dealer for something you put in your body, right? So yes, these people are heinous. These entities are heinous, right? But it is not their fault. We are falling into the trap. Their lies are easy to see through. We are choosing to be blind because we're having fun. We're just living the thrill. We're riding the spinning rock to death, right? Until an asteroid hits. We're just partying it up with the Mountain Dew and the Faygo and the clown show and spraying champagne and puffing cigars. Like, we're just celebrating like we figured it out. We conquered the animal kingdom. We built a bunch of stupid, ugly shit, and now we're on top of it, and we're just going to blow it all up as soon as we get to the moon. Right? We're going to get to Mars. We're going to send a bomb back here, blow this shit up, and just repeat. Like, that's just going to be our cycle, terrorizing and colonizing the universe, right? That's what they want you to believe. Coach thinks this place is somehow artificial. It is hard to explain, but he does not see himself actively glued in this reality. Most of the time, there's some sort of weird blur, distortion, or lighting effect that feels like that of a video game. So that's why Coach does not get overly attached. He does get very upset in more people he loses. Usually after the fact, like months or something like that, it'll hit him that he really loved that person and he misses him, but he's not someone that tries to, just let any sort of event distract his ambition, because he feels he is trying to honor the Lord or whatever the good energy of the universe is. Like I said, I don't claim an entity. I don't claim whatever. It's just, if you have goodness in your heart and you feel like it was divinely put there and you have a conscience that guides you, I'm with whatever put that there. That's what I claim helps me, because I trust my conscience, right? I don't believe in the phrase conscience. It is a con word. It also has the word science. I believe it is your moral compass. I believe it is the word of God inscribed within you, and it is telling you your purpose, and you are constantly conditioned to ignore it, to conform. This, in fact, results in you selling out and having your soul crushed, and eventually you are just a vessel who is a tool with idle hands for the master. Okay? Now, once again, Coach does not claim to have any certainty. He does not have proof. This is what he feels, what he believes, and it certainly reads as something authority figures or false authority figures in this realm would not want you to believe. So Coach is going to operate with it because he knows at the very least it would piss them off. Okay? So, that being said, I would love to hear your thoughts. As like I've said, I am not entirely sure of anything that is happening here. I simply know they constantly put things on the screen to make you believe that you are constantly monitored, that you are in some sort of spectacle, some sort of reality show, some sort of game, and you are being judged. Now, Coach does not even remotely concern himself with those thoughts. He is not paranoid by the idea of some evil entity monitoring him, because he believes he is protected by a better presence. Why else would his dumbass still be here, surviving, able to talk to you? Because he certainly hasn't done himself too many favors. But yet, here we are. Okay? So, that's why Coach thinks if he is doing something they don't like, this may be why he is allowed to do it, because he refuses to take the credit. He is telling you straight up, there is a higher power. It is the force, whatever you want to call it, whatever your religion. There's some sort of hippy-dippy spiritual energy or power that can guide you if you wish nothing more than to do good. Tapping into this power does not make you a good person. Coach does not believe in good people. He doesn't believe in bad people either. He believes people exist and they can choose to do either. But they typically end up doing bad as a result of cognitive dissonance, and they are simply being told what they're doing is good, even though they know deep down it is wrong. They do it anyway, and that is their fault. But Coach still feels empathy for them. He still wishes they were more aware of the choice and power they have, instead of simply operating as drones following trends, consuming what they're told, putting their eyeballs exactly where the magician points, right? Whereas coach tries to look behind the curtain, he tries to look what's in the other hand, he tries to look what's behind the back, all that sort of stuff. So coach does not immediately assume everything he is being told is a lie. He does believe anything put into print on a major publication, anything put on the screen, anything put in an advertisement, anything put in any sort of corporate legislation or into civil law. Those are all lies. Those are all fabrications. Those are all ways to control your brain, ways to stack the deck in their favor. You pass one law that seems completely harmless right now, 100 years ago, when they've now told you this word means this word, we don't identify with this word anymore, we don't even use this punctuation anymore. They now tell you back then it actually meant this, and now you got a whole new can of worms on your hand, and you fucking signed off on it because you voted for one of the idiots, even if it was the one you didn't want to get in that one, you still voted for the idiot who was the heel and was intentionally allowing the other guy to get in, and you voting for him as a scapegoat, like, oh, well, at least I tried, sorry I lost. Now the other guy gets to take over. Don't fucking vote.